Hi everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back to Adventures in Polished Land. Today I have my Friday reads to share with you, and I'm getting this up pretty late. I'm hoping it's still going to be Friday by the time I upload this, but I actually intended to film this video yesterday on Thursday, but I was so into the book I was reading, I made the decision to finish reading my book instead of filming this video, and I think most of you would support that decision, so let's talk about everything I've read this week because I'm off to a great reading start for the year. I believe the last time we spoke, I was reading Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones, and I finished this one. I ended up giving it a 4-star rating, and I overall really enjoyed it. The ending fizzled out a little bit for me, but otherwise, great read. Then I moved right into The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin, and I finished this in 2 days. It is a children's novel, but I overall found this so fun and enjoyable. I gave this one 3.5 stars. And then I moved right into The Atmospherians. This is by McElroy, and I was so into this book. This is a cult book, which I always really love. This one also discusses a lot of societal topics that I enjoy exploring, such as gender equality and wellness culture and influencer culture, so I could not put that book down. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I finished 3 books on my TBR already for the month within the first week, so that is really exciting. I have then picked up Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I started this yesterday and I'm already 78 pages in. This reads super quickly, especially after reading a more literary book. This one just feels really basic and a little bit boring because it's describing the most mundane things. Like, every single action that a character take has to be fully described to the reader. I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but when you read romance novels, do you find that they have a very particular writing style? Because I'm not a big fan of them. I enjoy picking them up every once in a while, especially when it's a really popular author like this, to test them out for myself, but it just reads almost like very young YA, but it's adult content. So it's a little weird for me. I'm not loving it, but I am going to finish it because this is part of my American Lit Reading Challenge for Minnesota. And like I said, I've only read this for basically 1.5 days, and I'm already a good chunk into this, so we will continue and finish it. I briefly wanted to talk about some changes to my channel because this year I have decided that for the American Lit Reading Challenge, I am going to do standalone book reviews for all of the books that are part of that. So next week I have a review of Silver Sparrow coming out, and then the week after I will have a review of The Westing Game. I'm going to try to schedule those videos on Tuesdays, so I will hopefully have a book review probably every week depending on how fast I'm reading. And I'm going to save all of those to a playlist so that if you are somebody who is also trying to read a book set in every US state and territory, you can see how I am faring with that challenge and maybe get some recommendations from me. So I will leave a link to that playlist in the description box. There's currently only one video in it, but it will get updated as I add more throughout the year. And then this week I posted my December reading wrap up and my 2026 reading goals. So both of those videos are live. I will post those in the description box in case you missed them as well. Now, last year I did usually 2 reading wrap-ups a month. I would do a mid-month wrap-up and then I would do an end-of-the-month wrap-up, and that varied depending on how much I read throughout the month. But I think what I'm going to do going forward this year is that at the end of every month I will do a wrap-up, but I won't do a full review of the books that I do standalone reviews for in the wrap-ups, if that makes sense. So for January so far, I've only read books from the American Lit Reading Challenge, but whatever else I read during the month will be more featured in my wrap-up, and the other books I will just do a quick mention of so that I'm not too redundant. I don't want to talk about the same books over and over and over, so I'm hoping that I can have a good rhythm with these weekly videos where I check in with you. Then if I do a standalone review, those will stand for themselves, and I will give a quick mention in my wrap-ups just so you can understand what I read for the month in total. That's going to be it for today. This weekend, I plan to continue reading this Abby Jimenez book. I've also been doing a great job by creating more, scrolling less. I am working on a cross-stitch project, which I should have brought over here with me to show you, but maybe I'll show you next week. I have never done cross-stitch before, but I am really, really enjoying it, and I'm excited to see how that project turns out. I am terrified I'm going to make a mistake and ruin it, but so far so good, and I'm really enjoying seeing how it is taking shape before my eyes. If you have also started any crafting projects this year that are new to you, I would love to know what they are in the comments. But that's it for this week. I am going to say bye for now, hopefully get this up tonight. And if not, this will be a Saturday reads, but we'll see. I hope you are having a great start to your reading year, and I'll see you next time. Bye.